I've been pursuing Pei Shuetan for 10 years. From college to the business world. From hooching to jingshi. To the point where my dad would sigh whenever he saw me. Lu Xingzhou, I didn't listen. A man, after all, ought to have the spirit of not turning back until he hits a brick wall. Later, I truly hit one. The brick wall was named Pei Shuetan, the eldest daughter of the Pei family from the Jing circle. Her nickname, the Buddhist woman. She was a vegetarian, worshipped Buddha, chanted sutras, and drank tea. Her emotions were stable year-round, and her face always seemed to carry 4 words. Mortals, keep away. The first time I saw her was at a charity gala. A group of people were holding wine glasses, boasting to each other. I had just been kicked into the high society scene by my dad, my suit and tie so tight I wanted to die on the spot. Pei Shuetan was sitting in a corner, twirling a string of agarwood beads in her hand. Someone went up to talk to her. She looked up. The person immediately shut up. I was young then, and my brain wasn't quite complete. I walked over with a glass of juice and blurted out, "Miss Pei, those beads of yours are quite well handled." The entire hall went silent. My dad nearly crushed the glass in his hand. Pei Shuetan looked at me for 3 seconds. Young Master Lu certainly knows how to make conversation. I couldn't tell if it was good or bad. I even thought she was praising me. I said, "Average, mostly thanks to natural talent." From that day on, the Jing circle had a new joke. The sole heir of the Lu family from Huqing was chasing Pei Shuetan like a dog. 10 years. I sent flowers. She immediately donated them to a temple. I sent a car. She had her driver use it to pick up stray cats. I sent jewelry. She auctioned it off for charity. I wrote her love letters. She had her assistant return them, complete with annotations. 3 typos. 5 instances of illogical reasoning. Overly dramatic emotions, suggested rewrite. I was so angry I didn't eat for 2 days. On the 3rd day, I got up and revised the draft. My brother Song Yuan looked at it, his gaze going blank. "You're quite a character. Other people spend money on dating, but you have to turn in homework for yours." I said, "What do you know? This is called deep interaction." Song Yuan covered her face on the spot. "You and your romance-addled brain should be sent to a museum exhibit." I thought I would keep chasing her forever. Until 3 months ago, the Pei family and the Lu family suddenly formed a marriage alliance. My dad slammed the marriage contract in front of me. "Son, you succeeded." I almost knelt down and cried out for our ancestors to manifest. Pei Shuetan didn't object either. She sat in the tea room of the old Pei family residence, in a white dress, with a plain hairpin, Buddhist beads hanging from her wrist. I asked her, "Are you willing?" She lowered her eyes and drank her tea, arranged by elders. For words, so cold it made my back teeth ache. But I was still mad with joy. I thought my suffering had finally ended and good times were ahead. As it turned out, I had rejoiced too soon. On the first day of cohabitation, I wanted to help her with her coat. She stepped back half a pace. "I'll do it myself." On the 7th day of cohabitation, I wanted to hold her hand to cross the road. She handed me her Buddhist beads. "Hold this." On the 30th day of cohabitation, I cut my hand slicing fruit in the kitchen. I rushed out, holding up my finger. "Shuetan, I'm bleeding." She glanced at it. "The Band-Aid is in the 2nd drawer on the left." I wasn't ready to give up. "Aren't you going to put it on for me?" She paused for 2 seconds. "Your right hand isn't broken." My heart. Snap. It broke so neatly. The 99th time I was rejected was last night. After I showered, wearing the black bathrobe I specially bought, I stood at the door of her study. I had practiced the pose for half an hour. Spent 20 minutes finding the right angle. Even every strand of my hair carried a hint of ulterior motive. I knocked on the door. "Shuetan, are you going to sleep?" She didn't even lift her head. "If you're tired, then sleep." I cleared my throat. "I mean, together." She turned a page of her book. "Lu Xingzhou, there's a board meeting tomorrow at 9. I said, "I'm fine." She said, "I don't want it to affect my work." I said, "I won't affect it." She looked up at me. Her gaze was so clear it could freeze a person into an ice pop. "You affect me." I shut up on the spot. She twisted the knife again. "Pull up your collar properly. Don't catch a cold." In that moment, I understood. You can't be too humble when loving someone. A simp who keeps simping will only end up licking himself into a doormat. I went back to my room to pack my bags. Song Yuan called. "Are you really leaving?" I shoved my passport into my bag. "Yes." Where are you going? Paris. What for? To clear my head, drink, and meet new friends. Song Yuan gasped. Are you finally acting like a human being? Yeah. I zipped up my bag. From today on, I'm closing my heart and locking away love. The next morning, I dragged my suitcase downstairs. The living room was very quiet. Pei Shuatan was sitting on the sofa, drinking tea. She was wearing a white shirt, her long hair pinned up with a wooden hairpin, and a scripture sat beside her. Hearing the movement, she looked up. Where are you going? I pretended to be calm. Abroad. The hand holding her cup paused. For business. To clear my head. She looked at me. When will you be back? I smiled. Hard to say. The air hung still. She put down her teacup. The porcelain cup hit the tabletop with a crisp sound. Lu Xingzhou. We're getting our marriage certificate next month. My heart gave a sharp tug. Here we go again. It's always like this. You gave me a little hope, only to thrust me back into reality. I took a deep breath. Pei Shuatan, I'm tired. Her eyelashes fluttered. I continued. If you don't want this engagement, we can call it off. Consider these past 10 years my own foolish mistake. I won't bother you anymore. She didn't speak. I picked up my suitcase and turned towards the front door. Just as one foot crossed the threshold, a voice suddenly exploded in my head. Don't go. My footsteps stopped. Who? Woo hubby, don't go. Was I putting on too much of an act yesterday? I froze. Only Pei Shuatan and I were in the living room. She sat on the sofa, back perfectly straight, with no expression on her face. But the voice in my head was still wailing. Oh no, he's really angry. Dad said men like dignified and composed women. I've been so dignified my back almost broke, so why is he still leaving? No. Pei Shuatan, you're a Buddha-like woman of the Beijing circle. You can't just rush over and cling to his leg. A mature woman must exercise restraint. I slowly turned around. Pei Shuatan was picking up her teacup. Her movements were elegant. Her gaze was calm and indifferent. I looked at her. She looked at me. The next second, the inner voice spoke again. He turned back. Is he reluctant to leave me? Quick, say something to make him stay. Pei Shuatan spoke, her voice cool. Be careful on your way. Inside, she shrieked. What kind of bullshit am I saying? I stood at the doorway, dragging my suitcase. I felt like I was splitting apart. Pei Shuatan sat on the sofa, holding her teacup. Perhaps to an outsider, this was the scene of an affluent engaged couple having a dignified breakup. In reality, my mind had already become a zoo. Quick, stop him. Tell him he's not allowed to leave. Tell him you can't sleep without him. Say it. Pei Shuatan put down her teacup and spoke softly. It's getting colder in Paris recently. I nearly crushed the handle of my suitcase. That's it. Your heart is erupting like a volcano, but your mouth is giving a weather report? I stared at her. Do you have anything else to say? Pei Shuatan looked up. Remember to bring an umbrella. Ah, Pei Shuatan, did you rent that mouth of yours? I gritted my teeth. That's it. Her fingertips tightened around the prayer beads. That's it. Asterisk yes. There's a whole basket full. I want to say don't go. I want to say I like you. I want to say yesterday when you wore that nightgown I almost crushed the scriptures. But my dad said if a woman is too forward, she'll be easily controlled by a man. Asterisk. I narrowed my eyes. Uncle Pei? Very good. The source has been found. I dragged my suitcase and took another step outwards. Pei Shuatan's fingers suddenly tightened. The prayer beads snapped with a patta sound. The beads scattered all over the floor. Her expression didn't change. Asterisk it broke. It broke. It broke. This is the 7th string of prayer beads I've broken trying to act cool. Asterisk. I looked at the beads scattered across the floor. Silent for 2 seconds. Then suddenly smiled. Pei Shuatan. She looked up. Shall I help you pick them up? She said indifferently. No need. Asterisk yes. Let him help. It'd be best if our hands touched while picking them up. Asterisk. I squatted down, slowly picking up the beads. She also squatted down. Our fingers touched one of the beads. Her fingertips trembled, and she immediately pulled them back. Her face remained cold. Asterisk inside. It was like drums and gongs were beating on the spot. We touched. Rounding up, we've already held hands. This can go into the diary today, with the title First Intimate Contact After Marriage. Asterisk. My hand trembled. The bead almost rolled under the sofa. How did I never notice before? Pei Shuadan's mind was so lively. I finished picking up the beads and handed them to her. This is the 7th string. Her gaze paused. What? My heart skipped a beat. The ability to hear inner thoughts that can't be exposed. Otherwise, the Pei family might invite a master to perform a ritual on me. I blurted out something random. You have a strong grip. It doesn't look like your first string. Pei Shuatan looked at me for a few seconds. You're very observant. As expected of my husband, he can even guess how many strings of prayer beads I've broken. Is he secretly paying attention to me? He loves me so much. The corner of my mouth twitched. No, your imagination is so vivid. It's a real waste you don't write novels. I stood up. I don't have to leave, if that's okay. A flicker of light appeared in Pei Shuatan's eyes. She quickly suppressed it. Conditions? I said. From today onwards, let's tell the truth. Her back tensed up. The truth? Yes. I stared at her. Do you truly dislike me or not? Pei Shuatan fell silent. The living room was so quiet you could hear the air conditioner blowing. She lowered her eyes. Lu Xingzhou, I don't dislike you. I love you so much I'm going crazy. My heart gave a violent lurch. 10 years. I had waited 10 years for this sentence. Although she omitted 8 words aloud, I heard them. I looked down at her. Then why have you always avoided me? She clutched the broken prayer beads, her knuckles turning white. Calmly, she said, I'm not used to intimate contact. Inside, chaos erupted. Because I'm afraid that if I touch you, I'll give myself away. I've liked you since I was 18. The first time I saw you, you were holding juice and said my beads were oily. I went home and laughed until midnight, and my dad thought I was possessed. Later, you wrote me a love letter with 3 typos. I couldn't bear to throw it away, so I even laminated it. A shiver ran down my spine. You laminated the love letter? Pei Shuatan suddenly looked up. How did you know? Oh no. My brain glitched. My expression didn't change. Just a guess. She stared at me. He guessed way too accurately. Could this be marital intuition? I breathed a sigh of relief. Good. She'll convince herself. I sat back on the sofa. The suitcase lay discarded to one side. Pei Shuatan, let's talk. She sat down opposite me. Her posture was upright and proper. Her expression was placid. Talk. Let's talk quickly. Even better if we can talk our way into bed. I choked on a mouthful of tea. Pei Shuatan immediately handed me a tissue. Her movements were uncharacteristically swift. Slow down. My husband looks so handsome even when he drinks water. I coughed even harder. She looked at me, her brow slightly furrowed. You don't look right. I raised a hand. It's nothing. It was just the first time I realized my fiancé's internal thoughts had enough power to literally send someone to their maker. I asked her, what exactly did your dad tell you? Pei Shuatan's eyes flickered slightly. Nothing much. He said Lu Xingzhou chased me for 10 years. He must be after novelty. Before marriage, you can't be too enthusiastic. You have to keep him dangling. Once men get something, they don't cherish it. He also said mature women should be like temple gates, solemn and not to be opened indiscriminately. I was silent. Uncle Pei's parenting skills. I suggest he go back for a complete overhaul. I asked, you believed it? Pei Shuatan pursed her lips. Not entirely. I believed it all. I even bought 36 books on husband taming techniques. The first one taught me the cold shoulder treatment. The second, playing hard to get. And the third said men are like kites. You have to let out the string. By now, the kite is about to fly to Paris. I couldn't help myself. I burst out laughing. Pei Shuatan frowned. What are you laughing at? I waved my hand. Just reminded me of my dad. Your dad? He said I chased you like a dog. Pei Shuatan's eyelashes trembled slightly. Nonsense. He's clearly a puppy. A cute puppy. My smile froze on my face. Okay. Young Master Lu of the Shanghai Circle, celebrating a species change. I couldn't leave. After Song Yuan found out, he was silent on the phone for half a minute. Didn't you seal your heart off to love? I sat in the study. Pei Shuatan was brewing tea outside. I lowered my voice. Situations changed. How so? There might be a husky living inside the iceberg. Song Yuan, ? I said. It's not convenient to explain. Song Yuan scoffed. Lu Xingzhou, you're done for. Did she coax you back with just one sentence again? I glanced at the doorway. Pei Shuetan was carrying the tea in. The white porcelain cup was placed beside my hand. She said coolly, "Drink tea." I brewed it myself. If he drinks it, he's accepting my love. Drink it, drink it, drink it. I picked it up and took a sip. Her eyes didn't change, but fireworks were going off in her heart. He drank it. I'm in his heart. Song Yuan yelled from the other end of the phone. Say something. I cleared my throat. I'm hanging up now. Are you fawning over her again? Pei Shuetan's movement stopped. Before I could hang up, Song Yuan's voice continued to spill out. I'm telling you, bro, I've had enough. That woman, Pei Shuetan, is a refrigerator come to life. If you chase her again, I'll scratch you off the Liu family's genealogy. The study fell silent. My fingers froze on the hang-up button. Pei Shuetan lowered her eyes to the teacup. Her face remained expressionless, but in her heart, she'd already drawn a knife. A refrigerator come to life. Song Yuan, huh? Tomorrow, his family's club will get 3 extra rounds of fire inspections. I quickly hung up. He's joking. Pei Shuetan nodded. I know. I'm not joking. My scalp tightened. Song Yuan. Buddy, you're on your own. That evening, for the first time, I took the initiative to suggest we have dinner together. Pei Shuetan agreed very calmly. Okay. Should I change my clothes? Can't be too obvious. Wear that black dress. No, it'll look like I've been planning this for ages. The white dress. Too plain. The gray dress. Will my husband think I look like cement? I sat at the dining table, listening to her agonizing upstairs for 20 minutes. Finally, she came down in a light blue lawn dress. Her hair was loose over her shoulders, and small pearls dangled from her ears. I looked at her for 2 seconds. You look beautiful. Pei Shuetan's steps faltered. She shifted her gaze. Thank you. He complimented me. Pei Shuetan, steady yourself. Don't smile. A Buddhist woman shouldn't grin. She sat down opposite me. She struggled to keep her lips from smiling. Suddenly, a mischievous thought crossed my mind. Smile a little. She looked up. I'm not used to it. I want to smile. Corners of my mouth. Stay down. I rested my chin on my hand. I want to see it. The chopsticks in her hand lightly touched the rim of the bowl. Clink. She looked at me for several seconds. Finally, the corners of her mouth lifted slightly. Very subtly. But there was a light in her eyes. Suddenly, I felt a strong lump in my throat. So, it wasn't just me that had been treading water for the past 10 years. She was too. She had just encased herself in a shell, and then welded it shut. Just as I was about to speak, the doorbell rang. The housekeeper went to open the door. The next second, Pei Qishan, Father Pei, walked in. He was wearing a tang suit, a birdcage dangling from his hand. Seeing me, he smiled kindly. Oh, Xingzhou, you're here too. I stood up. Uncle Pei. Pei Shuetan also rose. Dad. Pei Qishan looked at the dishes on the table, then at us. His gaze suddenly grew wary. Were you just laughing? Pei Shuetan said coolly. No. Yes, you were. Pei Qishan let out a sigh of relief. That's good. He sat down, looking at Pei Shuetan meaningfully. Daughter, your dad's telling you, before marriage, you have to play it steady. Men, these creatures, you can't spoil them. You smile once, and they'll dare to climb onto the roof and tear off the tiles. I gripped my chopsticks. Pei Shuetan lowered her head and drank water. Dad, stop talking. Pei Qishan was still lecturing. Especially someone like Xingzhou, who's been pursuing you for 10 years. He's infatuated now, but once you're really married, he might get bored. You have to keep him on a leash. Be cold when you should be cold. Be reserved when you should be reserved. I slowly raised my head. Uncle Pei. Pei Qishan smiled. What is it? I said. Is this how you pursued Aunt Pei back in the day? His expression froze. Pei Shuetan's inner thought instantly appeared. Excellent question. My mom said that back then. To pursue her, Dad climbed a wall in the middle of the night and fell into a doghouse. I continued. I heard you were quite proactive when you were young. Pei Qishan coughed. A man being proactive and a woman being proactive are different. No sooner had he spoken than a woman's voice came from outside the door. Pei Qishan, try spouting nonsense like that again. The birdcage in Pei Qishan's hand swayed. Pei's mother, Lin Su, walked in. She changed her shoes, looked up, her gaze falling on Pei Qishan's face. Who's teaching my daughter to act like an ice cube before marriage? Pei Qishan's mouth twitched. I'm doing this for her own good. Lin Su sneered. When you were pursuing me back then, you'd send 80 messages a day and stand downstairs at midnight singing off-key love songs. And now you're teaching our daughter to be reserved? Pei Qishan's face flushed. In front of the child, give me some dignity. Lin Su put down her bag. You still have any dignity? I lowered my head and ate my rice. I dared not laugh. Pei Shuetan also lowered her head. Inside, I was already laughing my head off. Dad's finished. Mom's ramping it up. Lin Su lectured Pei Qishan on the spot for half an hour. From his views on love to his family responsibilities. From youthful misdeeds, like climbing walls and falling into doghouses. She lectured him all the way to putting a love letter through the wrong door when he confessed. Finally, Pei Qishan couldn't take it anymore. Xing Zhou is still here. Lin Su looked at me. Perfect. I put down my chopsticks. Aunt Pei. Lin Su sat next to me, her tone steady. Xing Zhou, Shuetan has a difficult personality. It's not that she dislikes you. Pei Shuetan suddenly looked up. Mom. Lin Su didn't even look at her. Shut up. Pei Shuetan immediately shut up. Mom, my own mother. Lin Su continued. She's been like this since she was little. The more she cares, the more she pretends not to. When she was little, she liked a rabbit doll, and when the store clerk asked if she wanted it, she said no. She cried all night when she got home. Pei Shuetan gripped her cup tightly. Mom, and that time in high school, at the Liu family's ball, you and Xing Zhou danced for half a song. Lin Su looked at me. When she came back, she put those shoes in the cabinet, and she'd get mad at anyone who touched them. I froze. The high school ball. I remember. That night, Pei Shuetan was pushed by elders to dance with me. She didn't say a word the whole time. Halfway through the dance, she said her foot hurt and left. I thought she was annoyed with me. Turns out she wasn't. Pei Shuetan's cheeks tightened. Her gaze was so cold it could kill. It's over, it's all over. If Mom keeps talking, I could move into a temple overnight. Lin Su patted the back of my hand. If you're truly tired, Aunt Pei won't stop you. But if you still want her, don't listen to her tough talk. Look at what she's done. My throat tightened. Pei Shuetan had her eyes lowered, fingertips pressing against the rim of her cup. I asked, what did she do? Lin Su smiled. Every item you gave her, she kept a record of. The flowers were donated, but every single bouquet was photographed. The car was given to the driver, but the license plate number was chosen to be your birthday. The jewelry was auctioned, but she was the buyer herself. My mind buzzed. Pei Qishan muttered beside me. Quite the secret keeper, isn't she? Lin Su shot him a look. Pei Qishan immediately drank his soup. I looked at Pei Shuetan. She finally couldn't sit still. She stood up. I'll go to the study. Run? If you don't run now, you'll be completely exposed. I stood up too. I'll go too. She paused. You don't need to. I do. Lin Su chimed in from behind. Go on, clear the air. Pei Qishan was about to speak, but Lin Su glared him into silence. Pei Shuetan and I went into the study. The door closed. She stood with her back to me. My mom exaggerated. I said, which part was exaggerated? She was silent. Not a single one. I walked up behind her. Pei Shuetan, you liked me when you were 18? Her shoulders stiffened. No. Yes. You kept the love letters? No. Triple laminated. The jewelry I gave you, you bought back yourself? A business investment. Kept on the top shelf of the safe, polished once a month. I closed my eyes. I was both annoyed and amused. You're really something. She turned around, her gaze cool. Lu Xingzhou, don't talk to me in that tone. Is he angry? Don't be angry. I'm just too much of a coward. I'm afraid that the moment I take the initiative, you'll discover I'm not that good, and then you won't want me. The spark in my chest was instantly suppressed. Outwardly, she was cold and impenetrable, but inside, she held herself in very low regard. I looked at her. Who said you weren't good? Pei Shuetan's lips pressed tightly together. No one. The Pei family needs propriety. The Beijing social circle needs rules. My father needs me to be a daughter who can uphold the family's image. From a young age, I was taught not to show what I liked, not to grab what I wanted, and that crying was even more shameful. But I truly like Lu Xingzhou. I took a step forward. She tried to retreat. I grabbed her wrist. Her breathing hitched. Lu Xingzhou. I looked down at her. You can hide. But now I know. If you keep hiding, I'll take it as you inviting me to chase you. Her eyelashes trembled violently. Her mouth was still defiant. You're overthinking it. Chase. Chase me now. You'd best start right away. I smiled. All right. Then I'll start chasing you again. She looked at me. No need. There is a need. I released her. First step, a date tomorrow. She immediately said, I have a meeting tomorrow. Cancel it. I nodded. Then the day after tomorrow. The day after tomorrow is a family dinner. You can bring him. And the day after that, I have to go to a charity auction. We'll go together. I crossed my arms and looked at her. Pei Shuetan. She raised her eyes. I slowly asked, are you hinting that you want me to accompany you to the auction? Her expression didn't change. Up to you. Exactly, exactly. My husband truly understands me. I said, all right, I'll go with you. She turned to look at the bookshelf. Yay. The charity auction was held at Jingshi's most expensive hotel. When Pei Shuetan and I appeared together, quite a few people at the entrance looked over. The marriage alliance between the Beijing and Shanghai social circles was already exciting enough. What was even more talked about was, everyone knew I had pursued her for 10 years. And they all thought she didn't like me. Someone holding a drink chuckled in a low voice. Young Master Lu certainly has patience. If it were me, I would have given up long ago. With Miss Pei's temperament, would he marry her just to worship her? I didn't respond. Before, hearing such words would upset me. Not anymore, because Pei Shuetan linked her arm through mine. The gesture was light, but her fingertips gripped tightly. Her face was cool and indifferent, but inwardly, she was seething with murderous intent. Who said worship her? I worship him. Why are these people so loose-tongued? I'll have my assistant take down names later. I looked down at her. She raised her eyes. What are you looking at? I said, I'm looking to see if you want to curse someone out. She paused. I don't curse at people. I do, especially want to dump that glass of red wine on his head just now. I suppressed a laugh. Or should I curse them? Her gaze swept over me. No need. Curse them harshly. I turned to look at the person who had just spoken. Young Master Chun. The person froze. Young Master Lu? I smiled and asked, you know so much about marriage. How many times have you been married? His face stiffened. Someone nearby stifled a laugh. I continued, I heard that you went on a blind date last month and the woman disliked you for having little hair. Young Master Chen's face flushed red. What nonsense are you talking? I patted his shoulder. Don't get excited. The Pei family's auction has a charity medical project. Later, I'll donate a scalp care slot for you. The surroundings instantly quieted down. Then someone couldn't hold it in and let out a snort of laughter. Young Master Chun, holding his wine glass. His hand was trembling. Pei Shuetan stood beside me, her expression cool and aloof. Inside, I was mentally banging the table. Well done. As expected of my husband. Even his insults are so sophisticated. I was in a great mood. Until a woman walked over. She was wearing a red dress, holding a glass of champagne. Xingzhou, long time no see. I looked over. Su Man, my university classmate. Also a famously lively person in the social circle. She used to pursue me. After I rejected her, she immediately turned around and said I didn't know what was good for me. Su Man looked at me, then looked at Pei Shuetan. Her smile was very deep. Miss Pei is truly amazing. To be able to make young Master Lu pursue her for 10 years. But men, you know, they get tired if they chase for too long. Pei Shuetan glanced at her. Miss Su, is there something you need? Su Man smiled. Nothing, just a reminder. Don't let him slip away. As soon as these words came out, many people around perked up their ears. Pei Shuetan's fingers gripped my arm. Who is she? Why does she call Xingzhou so intimately? Is she trying to steal my man? Buddha, I might have to break my vows today. I almost burst out laughing. Su Man was still fanning the flames. Xingzhou, I told you before. Someone like you needs to find someone who will truly care for you. Don't always offer a warm face to a cold one. I was about to speak. Pei Shuetan suddenly let go of me. She stepped forward. Her voice was very faint. Miss Su. Su Man raised an eyebrow. Pei Shuetan looked at her. Did you intentionally pick up the wrong glass of wine? Su Man was stunned. Pei Shuetan raised her hand, pointing at the champagne in Su Man's hand. Alcoholic beverages are prohibited at tonight's auction. The drink in your hand is a throat-soothing beverage prepared by the kitchen for the auctioneer, with added mint and honey. Suman's face stiffened. Some people nearby lowered their heads to look at the drink menu. Pei Shuatan continued. You just walked around the venue 3 times carrying it. Every time you met someone, you pretended to take a sip. But there are no lip prints on the rim of the glass. You're not here to drink. You're looking for an angle, waiting for me to lose my composure. Suman's fingers tightened. Miss Pei, aren't you overthinking this? Pei Shuatan looked at her. Your assistant is standing at the 3 o'clock position, with their phone camera on. Suman spun around abruptly. The assistant hastily put away their phone. All eyes in the room instantly darted towards them. Suman's face turned pale. I was also stunned. So she had seen through it long ago. Pei Shuatan said coldly. You wanted to film me having a jealous fit, edit it into a video, and post it? I've even thought of a title for you. The Beijing Circle's Serene Lady Cracks. Shanghai's young master Lu allegedly transfers affection. Suman's lips trembled. I didn't. Pei Shuatan took half a step closer. Then why are you trembling? No one in the room spoke. Suman held the cup, her wrist trembling. Pei Shuatan turned to look at me. Her face was cold. But inwardly, she was very pleased. See, hubby, I don't just put on an act. I can protect you. I looked at her. My throat suddenly felt a bit choked up. I walked over and took her hand. This time, she didn't pull away. Only her fingertips were hot. Her inner thoughts exploded, giving me a headache. He held my hand. He held my hand in public. Pei Shuatan, don't faint. It would be embarrassing. I whispered, Miss Pei, you were incredibly cool just now. Her eyelashes trembled slightly. Stop being glib. Say 2 more compliments. After that night at the auction, my relationship with Pei Shuatan was getting weird. To call it intimate, she still kept her guard up. But to call it not intimate, every morning she'd leave breakfast for me. And before I left, she'd say, your tie is crooked. Then she'd reach out and straighten it for me. Her movements were quick, like completing a task. But in her heart, she was practically chanting, I touched his Adam's apple. I really want to touch it again. No, Pei Shuatan, you are a dignified woman. I looked down at her. Her fingertips paused at my collar. I asked, is it still crooked? She withdrew her hand. It's not crooked anymore. It is crooked. My heart's gone crooked. I discovered that ever since I could hear her inner thoughts, my quality of life had soared. Before, I'd guess what she was thinking until my head was bald. Now I don't have to guess. Her mouth would say no, but in her heart, she'd give me a 3-page wish list. For example, when I asked her where she wanted to go on the weekend, she'd say, wherever. In her heart. Amusement park, haunted house, Ferris wheel, preferably with couples tickets. I'd say, how about the amusement park then? She'd nod calmly. All right. In her heart. He understands me. Another example. I'd ask her what she wanted to drink. She'd say, plain water. In her heart. Bubble tea, 3/10 sugar, with taro balls, no pearls. I'd say, should I get you some bubble tea? She'd frown. Childish. In her heart. Double taro balls. I'd say, double taro balls. She'd be silent for 2 seconds. Just this once. In her heart. Long live my husband. These days were too amazing. So amazing that Song Yuan thought I was possessed. He invited me out for a drink. The moment we met, he stared at me. Lu Hongzhou, you've been acting strangely lately. I leaned back into the booth. What's wrong? Before, when you were pursuing Pei Shuatan, you looked like you were toiling for a capitalist. Now your whole face is beaming. I took a sip of water. Love nourishes. Song Yuan shivered. Don't gross me out. He leaned closer. Seriously, did she put a hex on you? I thought about it. Pretty much. What? She has me in her heart. Song Yuan rolled his eyes. Nonsense. You've been chasing her for 10 years. Even a stray dog knows you have her in your heart. I mean her. Her. Song Yuan burst out laughing. Pei Shuatan has you in her heart. The way she looks at you is no different from how she'd look at a stone lion in front of a temple. No sooner had he spoken, a voice came from behind. Mr. Song. Song Yuan's smile froze. I turned my head. Pei Shuatan stood by the booth. White shirt, black trousers, holding my jacket in her hand. Her expression was calm. I'm here to pick up Xingzhou. Song Yuan immediately sat up straight. Miss Pei. He glanced at me, his eyes full of help me. I really wanted to help, but I couldn't. Pei Shuatan handed me the jacket. It's getting colder outside. Stone Lion? Very good. Song Yuan's club will have its annual fire inspection increased to 5 rounds. Song Yuan still didn't realize he was in deep trouble. He gave a dry laugh. Miss Pei is so considerate. Pei Shuatan looked at him. Mr. Song is also very humorous. So humorous it makes one want to call the police. I held back my laughter until my ribs ached. Song Yuan felt a chill down his spine from her gaze. I suddenly remembered. I left my gas on at home. He said that and ran, faster than his family's stock plummeting. I put on my jacket. Why are you here? Pei Shuatan looked at me. The driver said you didn't drive. I missed you. My heart stirred. Is that all? She looked away. It was on the way. You came here specifically. I smiled. Pei Shuatan. She looked at me. I said, can you please stop saying the opposite of what you mean in the future? Her eyelashes trembled. What did I say that was the opposite of what I meant? Lots. I took a step closer. Like how you missed me. The tips of her ears flushed slightly, but she held her ground. No. Yes, you did. I continued to close in. Like how you like me. She retreated half a step, bumping into the wall. Lu Xingzhou, don't push me. Push me further, and I'll kiss you. I lowered my head. Like how you want to kiss me. Her eyes widened. You're talking nonsense. How did he know? My smile was infuriatingly smug. So, are you going to kiss me or not? She stared at me. The bar corridor lights reflected in her eyes. She wanted to push me away. Her hand lifted halfway, then stopped. She wanted to refuse, but swallowed the words back. Finally, she gritted her teeth. Close your eyes. I froze for a moment. The next second, she grabbed my tie, stood on tiptoe, and kissed me. It was very light. A quick touch, and she pulled back. But fireworks erupted in my head. Not mine. They were hers. Asterisk I got a kiss. Asterisk asterisk I kissed Lu Xingzhou. Asterisk asterisk tonight's diary title. Buddhist girl breaks her vows. Asterisk. I chuckled. She couldn't keep a straight face. What are you laughing at? I covered my mouth. Nothing. She turned and walked away. How embarrassing. But I still want to kiss you. I chased after her and took her hand. Pei Shuatan. Next time, it can be longer. Her steps faltered. She nearly ran into the doorframe. I thought we would continue to be sweet and happy. As it turned out, a comedic life won't let you be peaceful for more than 3 days. On the 3rd day, at the Pei family banquet, Pei Qishan called me to his study. He sat in a grand armchair, with tea placed before him, looking ready to impart life wisdom. Xingzhou. I sat down. Uncle Pei. He looked at me, his expression serious. You and Shuatan have been getting too close lately. We are engaged. Is getting closer a crime? Pei Qishan sighed. Young people are hot-blooded, I get it. But a man must have self-respect. My mouth twitched. Why does that sound familiar? Pei Qishan lowered his voice. Don't think I don't know. You took her to a bar a few days ago, and you were being inappropriate in the hallway. The hand holding my teacup paused. How did you know? Pei Qishan snorted coldly. The Pei family's informants are not to be underestimated. I was silent. So that waiter carrying the tray was from the Pei family? The Beijing circle is truly dirty. Pei Qishan continued. Maintaining decorum before marriage is about being responsible to each other. I asked, is that also what you taught Shuatan? Of course. He nodded proudly. I told her, if a man doesn't respect himself, he's like a rotten vegetable leaf, and women will throw him away at any time. I almost spat out a mouthful of tea. The source of that quote had been found. Pei Qishan was still talking. You can't let her get you too quickly. You have to make her cherish you. I looked at him. Uncle Pei. Are you afraid that after Shuatan marries, no one will be left to play chess with you? Pei Qishan's face stiffened. I continued. Are you afraid she'll care more about me later? He picked up his tea. Nonsense. I smiled. Are you reluctant to let go of your daughter, but too embarrassed to say it? Pei Qishan stopped drinking his tea. Lu Xingzhou, don't make wild guesses. Suddenly, Shuatan's voice rang out from outside the door. Dad. Pei Qishan's back stiffened. The door was pushed open. Pei Shuatan stood at the entrance, her expression colder than usual. What are you teaching him now? Pei Qishan cleared his throat. Just men talking business. Pei Shuatan looked at me. What did he say? I was about to speak. Pei Chishan frantically gave me eye signals. The message in his eyes was clear. Dare to speak and you're dead. I smiled faintly. Uncle Pei said I should observe proper decorum before marriage. Pei Shuatan's gaze fell on Pei Chishan's face. And what else? Pei Chishan picked up his tea. Nothing else. Pei Shuatan walked in. Men don't value themselves? Pei Chishan's hand trembled. Tea spilled on his pants. Who told you that? Pei Shuatan said coldly. You taught me that before too. Pei Chishan's gaze drifted. Dad's just sharing experience. Pei Shuatan stared at him. Your experience almost made me lose my fiancé. Pei Chishan was choked speechless. I sat by the side, trying my best to reduce my presence. Pei Shuatan continued. I like him. I suddenly looked up. Pei Chishan was also stunned. She spoke slowly. Every word was steady. I've liked him since I was 18. I don't want to pretend not to care anymore. Nor do I want to keep testing him with your methods. He chased me for 10 years. It wasn't for me to practice the cold shoulder. The study was eerily quiet. Pei Chishan opened his mouth. He couldn't speak for a long moment. Pei Shuatan looked at him. Dad, I know you can't bear to let go, but you can't use that reluctance to teach me to hurt others. Pei Chishan's eyes were a little red. He reached for his tea, then lowered his hand. Finally, he said in a low voice, I'm just afraid you'll get hurt. Pei Shuatan's voice softened. I've already made him suffer for 10 years. My throat tightened. Pei Chishan looked at me. After a long moment, he sighed. Xingzhou. I sat up straighter. Uncle Pei. He was silent for a few seconds. I was muddled before. If you're still willing, treat her better. I nodded. I will. Pei Chishan added. But don't be too good. Pei Shuatan. Dad. Pei Chishan immediately clammed up. I almost laughed out loud. After this family dinner, Pei Shuatan changed. She still didn't talk much, but she started to learn to speak directly, though she learned with difficulty. For instance, if she wanted to hold hands, she'd extend her hand to me. Cold. I took her hand. Your hand isn't cold. She was silent for 2 seconds. My heart is cold. My shoulders shook with laughter. She glared at me. Are you going to hold my hand or not? I am. For example, if she wanted me to go to the movies with her, she'd place the tickets on my desk. I bought an extra ticket. I looked at the 2 movie tickets for a couple's seat. Extra? She nodded calmly. A slip of the hand. Even a popcorn combo was a slip of the hand. She looked at me. Are you eating? Yes. Life was getting smoother and smoother, until Su Man reappeared. She posted a candid video online. The title was very provocative. Beijing circles, Zen goddess allegedly publicly threatens peer socialite. Shanghai circles young master, Lu fiercely protective throughout. The video was maliciously edited. It only showed the footage of Pei Shuatan aggressively questioning her. It omitted any footage of Su Man's assistant secretly filming or Su Man's provocation. The comments section quickly exploded. Some said Pei Shuatan was abusing her power to bully others. Some called me a love-struck fool for blindly protecting her. Others even dug up the fact that I had pursued her for 10 years, mocking me for finally groveling my way into the inner circle. Song Yuan sent me the link. Bro, wanting to round up some people? I looked at the comments section. I smiled. Round them up. Song Yuan got excited. Who should I call? I said, her assistant. Whose assistant? Su Man's. Su Man dared to post the video because she thought she had the original footage from that day. But she forgot one thing. The charity auction was hosted by the Pei family. The entire venue was under 360-degree surveillance with no blind spots. Even young Master Chen's few stubborn strands of hair could be clearly captured. What was even more coincidental was this. Su Man's assistant had long wanted to quit. The reason was very simple. Su Man owed her back pay and made her go buy sugar-free soy milk in the middle of the night, deducting 200 yuan for every mistake. When Song Yuan found the assistant, the person only asked one question. Can you make up my unpaid wages? Song Yuan said, yes. The assistant immediately handed over the original video and even included the chat logs as a bonus. Su Man had told her to film secretly. Su Man had told her to edit it. Su Man also said she wanted to drag Pei Shuatan into trouble, and while she was at it, cause a rift between me and the Pei family. The motive wasn't complicated either. Her family's funding chain had recently broken, and they wanted to latch onto the Lu family. After I finished reading the chat logs, I just found it amusing. What did she take me for? A walking ATM? I sent the evidence to Pei Shuatan. She was sitting next to me. After reading it, she only said 4 words. I'll handle it. I asked, how will you handle it? She glanced at me. The usual way. We'll make her socially dead. I raised an eyebrow. How usual? She picked up her tea. Issue a statement. First, release the original video, then the chat logs, and then slap her with a lawyer's letter. I nodded. Sounds pretty normal. That night at 8 p.m., PayCorp's official account released the complete video. 9 p.m., LuCorp's official account reposted it. 9:10 p.m., Suman's assistant made a statement under their real name. 9:30 p.m., a lawyer's letter arrived at Suman's studio. 10 p.m., the Su family's partners began withdrawing from projects. The online sentiment immediately reversed. The marketing accounts that had been most aggressive in their criticism deleted their posts overnight. The comments section went wild with laughter. Some said Su Man was begging with a bowl, yet complaining the bowl wasn't golden enough. Others joked, what's wrong with young Master Lu licking his way into the system? His system even comes with social benefits and a fiancé personally protecting her man. Someone even asked if there were still spots left for young Master Chen's scalp care. Young Master Chen was so furious he cursed in the group chat for half an hour. Song Yuan sent me the screenshot. See, he's lost it. I replied, tell him to stop staying up late. Song Yuan, you've got a sharp tongue. This matter should have ended there. But Su Man wasn't willing to give up. She went directly downstairs to Lu Corp to confront me. That day, I had just finished a meeting. As soon as I stepped out, I saw her standing in the lobby. Her eyes were red, clutching her phone in her hand. Lu Xingzhou. All the employees uniformly turned to look. I paused my steps. Su Man rushed over. The security guard immediately stopped her. She shouted, do you have to be so ruthless? I frowned. Miss Su, what's ruthless are the facts, not me. Her tears fell. I just like you. I hadn't had a chance to speak. Behind me, the elevator doors opened. Pei Shuatan walked out. The lobby instantly fell silent. Today, she was wearing a black suit, her long hair tied back, and she held a document in her hand. Seeing Su Man, she stopped. Su Man latched onto her like a lifeline. Miss Pei, I know I was wrong. You've already won. Why must you go to such extremes? Pei Shuatan walked over to me. 1. She looked at Su Man. You call spreading rumors a competition? Su Man's face went pale. Pei Shuatan's voice was low. You like him, so you framed me. Your family needs money, so you want to latch onto the Lu family. You failed, so you came to cry. Miss Su, every step you took was calculated. Su Man's lips trembled. I just love him too much. I felt my scalp tingle. Pei Shuatan glanced at me. She loves you? Does she know you're allergic to cilantro? Does she know you kick off your blanket when you sleep? Does she know you write Pei as a company in your love letters? I coughed. Could you please not publicly air this kind of embarrassing history? Pei Shuatan withdrew her gaze. Love is not a get-out-of-jail-free card for wrongdoing. Su Man wept even harder. Of course, you rich people would say that. I just wanted to fight for myself for once. Pei Shuatan took a step forward. You can contend for what you want, but you cannot snatch other people's things or trample on other people's reputations. And you certainly cannot package your greed as deep affection. A hush fell over the lobby. Su Man's face slowly drained of color. She looked at me. Xingzhou, are you really not going to help me? I said, Su Man, from university until now, I have rejected you 3 times. Each time, I made it very clear. You didn't lose to Pei Shuatan. You lost to yourself. Su Man lost her footing. When the security guard released her, she slumped to the floor. She was still murmuring. Impossible. You weren't like this before. You used to be polite to everyone. I looked down at her. Politeness isn't an invitation. Pei Shuatan took my hand. She was very proactive this time. She said to the security guard, escort Miss Su out. When Su Man was escorted away, her whole body went limp. The employees lowered their heads, pretending to be busy, but their eyes were brighter than ever. I knew it. The company chat group was going to explode tonight. Pei Shuatan turned her head to look at me. Let's go. I asked, where to? She said, home. Home for kisses. I almost choked on my own saliva. She frowned. Is your throat bothering you? I waved my hand. No. It's just that your inner thoughts are really taxing. After the incident with Su Man, I thought Pei Shuatan and I could finally get our marriage certificate without a hitch. But the night before we were to get the certificate, I couldn't sleep. Not because I was nervous. It was because Pei Shuatan was too nervous. She was sitting on the bedroom sofa, seemingly reading. The book's pages hadn't been turned in half an hour. Her inner thoughts hadn't stopped for half an hour. Getting the certificate tomorrow. Should I smile? Can we stand a little closer for the photo? Will it make me seem too proactive? What if he changes his mind? If he doesn't want to go tomorrow, should I knock him out and drag him along? Or try to reason with him? I lay in bed, eyes wide open, listening intently. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I sat up. Pei Shuatan. She looked up. Did I disturb you? No. Did I? I didn't make a sound. I looked at her. Come here. She closed her book. What do you want? Coming. He told me to come over. Be reserved. She walked to the bedside and stopped. I patted the spot next to me. Sit. She sat down. Her back was ramrod straight. I asked, are you nervous? She denied it quickly. Not nervous. So nervous you're digging your toes into the ground. I took her hand. Her palm was sweaty. I didn't call her out. I'm nervous too. She froze. I said, we're getting our marriage certificate tomorrow. I pursued you for 10 years, and now it's suddenly coming true. I'm a little afraid to sleep. Pei Shuatan looked at me. The coldness in her eyes dissipated little by little. She whispered, Lu Xingzhou. Will you blame me? I knew what she was asking. Blame her for pretending for so long. Blame her for making me wait so long. Blame her for pushing me away 99 times, even though she clearly liked me. I squeezed her hand. Yes, I do. Her fingertips stiffened. I said, so, you'll have to make it up to me in the future. She looked at me. How will I make it up? I leaned in a little. Tell me you love me once every day. Her throat moved slightly. Okay. I added, hug me once a day, proactively. She lowered her eyes. Okay. Kiss me once a day. The tips of her ears gradually grew warm. Lu Xingzhou. I smiled. No. She was silent for a long time. Finally, she said softly, okay. 100 times is fine. My breath hitched. Who could resist this? I was just about to lower my head when Pei Qishan's voice suddenly came from outside the door. Shuatan, Xingzhou, are you asleep? Pei Shuatan and I froze simultaneously. Pei Qishan pushed the door open and entered, carrying 2 bowls of soup in his hands. He saw us sitting by the bed, holding hands. He froze too. The 3 of us were silent. Pei Qishan slowly lowered his head and looked at his feet. If I leave now, is it still not too late? Pei Shuatan closed her eyes. Dad, Pei Qishan immediately placed the soup on the table. For your health. You're registering your marriage tomorrow, so be energetic. He was about to leave after saying that. He walked to the doorway, then turned back. Xingzhou. My scalp tightened. Uncle Pei. He said seriously, men must have self-respect. Pei Shuatan grabbed a pillow and threw it at him. Pei Qishan scurried away, covering his head. I'm leaving. Isn't it enough if I leave? The door closed. The room was quiet for 3 seconds. I couldn't help myself and collapsed onto the bed, laughing. Pei Shuatan stood by the bed, her face finally unable to hold its composure. She smiled too. Not a faint smile. It was a genuine laugh. Her eyes crinkled, and her shoulders trembled slightly. I was mesmerized. After she finished laughing, she noticed me staring at her. She immediately stopped. What are you looking at? I said, looking at my wife. Her breathing hitched slightly. We haven't registered our marriage yet. It will be tomorrow. She didn't retort. She just sat back down by the bed and leaned gently on my shoulder. This was the first time she had actively leaned on me. I lowered my head and looked at the top of her head. My inner voice was silent for a long time. So long that I thought I couldn't hear it anymore. Then, her voice softly spoke. Lu Xingzhou, thank you for still being here. I held her hand. I've always been here. She looked up. What did you say? I smiled. I said, don't be late tomorrow. She looked at me. I won't. I'll crawl there if I have to. I smiled again. She frowned. Your bar for humor is pretty low tonight. I nodded. Asterisk because you're too cute. Asterisk. The day we registered our marriage. Pei Shuatan woke up at 5. When I woke up at 6, she had already changed her clothes. A white shirt, a long black skirt. Her hair was tied up, and she was wearing the pearl earrings I gave her. She stood in front of the mirror, seemingly calm. Asterisk in her heart. She was practically dragging the marriage registration office over. Asterisk, is my lipstick too red? Will it make me look too eager? But it's our registration day today. What's wrong with being a little eager? Why isn't Lu Xingzhou up yet? Should I kiss him awake? I opened my eyes. Morning. She turned around. You're awake? Didn't get to kiss me awake. I sat up, smiling. Disappointed? Her gaze faltered. What? Nothing. I washed up and changed my clothes. When we went out, Pei Qishan and Lin Su were both in the living room. Pei Qishan's eyes were red. Lin Su handed us our 2 household registration books. Go on. Pei Qishan sniffled. Come back early for dinner. Pei Shuetan looked at him. Dad. Pei Qishan waved his hand. Don't say anything. Say one more word, and I'll cry. Lin Su kicked him. Seriously? Pei Qishan glared at me, his eyes red. Lu Xingzhou. I immediately stood up straight. Uncle Pei. If you ever make her cry, I'll bring a birdcage and camp out at your doorstep. I nodded earnestly. I won't. Pei Shuetan linked her arm through mine. Dad, let's go. Pei Qishan watched us leave, still muttering. Men should have self-respect. Lin Su slapped him on the back. You shut up. There were quite a few people at the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau. Pei Shuetan and I stood in line. Her expression was incredibly composed, but her hand was tightly clutching my cuff. I whispered, nervous? She looked straight ahead. No. You are. I reached out my hand. She immediately took it, adding a line. Your hand is cold. I need to hold it. When it was our turn for the photos, the photographer looked at us. Bride and groom, a little closer. Pei Shuetan nudged a little closer to me. Photographer, even closer. She nudged again. The photographer said helplessly, Young lady, you're getting married, not holding a meeting. Someone behind us laughed out loud. Pei Shuetan's ears turned red. I directly reached out and put my arm around her shoulder. Her whole body stiffened. The photographer was satisfied. Smile. Pei Shuetan tried her best to lift the corners of her mouth. The photographer fell silent. Bride, that expression of yours makes it look like you're about to acquire our Civil Affairs Bureau. My shoulders shook with laughter. Pei Shuetan glanced at me, mentally breaking down. But I did smile. Why is taking photos so hard? Lu Xingzhou is still smiling. I leaned down and whispered in her ear. Think about what you promised me last night. Her breathing hitched. The corner of her mouth finally softened. Click. The photo was captured. She leaned against me, smiling softly. Yet it was more genuine than any smile I had ever seen from her. When we received our marriage certificate, I opened it and gazed at it for a long time. Pei Shuetan also gazed at it for a long time. Her fingertip touched the photo, her voice very low. Lu Xingzhou. I like you. I looked up. She looked at me. Her gaze didn't waver. For the past 10 years, I've liked you too. People bustled around us. Some laughed, some took photos, some rushed out with their certificates to make calls. But I only heard that one sentence from her. My throat tightened. Is that the first time today? She nodded. The first time. What about a hug then? Her ears flushed again. But this time, she didn't retreat. She opened her arms and gently hugged me. The first one. I looked down at her. And a kiss. Pei Shuetan looked up. Lu Xingzhou, don't push your luck. A kiss. Kiss me now. I smiled and leaned down. She grabbed my tie and pulled me closer. At the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau, Song Yuan appeared out of nowhere. Holy crap, you're actually kissing. Pei Qishan's voice also boomed from nearby. Lu Xingzhou, men should have some self-respect. Pei Shuetan and I turned our heads at the same time. Pei Qishan stood not far away, still carrying a birdcage. Lin Su stood beside him, her face terrifyingly dark. Song Yuan held up his phone, as excited as if he'd snagged a major headline. Kiss. Keep kissing. I'll take pictures for you. Pei Shuetan closed her eyes. Then, in front of everyone, she grabbed my tie and kissed me again. Song Yuan's hand trembled. Pei Qishan covered his eyes. Lin Su laughed out loud. In my mind, Pei Shuetan's inner voice rang out clearly. See that? That's my husband. Mine, legitimate. Smiling, I hugged her tightly. 10 years of pursuit. 99 rejections. On the 100th try, I finally understood her unspoken words. Later, Song Yuan asked me, what does it feel like to hear your wife's inner voice? I thought for a moment. Like activating a wall hack. His eyes went wide with envy. Can you teach me? I patted his shoulder. No, but you can start by learning to shut up. I said, your family's clubhouse is due for its 6th annual fire safety inspection soon. His pupils dilated in shock on the spot. Didn't Pei Shuatan already let me off? I looked at the message she had sent on my phone. Wife? He said I'm like a refrigerator again today. I replied, no, he praised your composure. I put away my phone. I gave Song Yuan a sympathetic smile. Brother, run. Run, even if you have to carry a train through the night.